Hey everyone, Hans here, as per usual. Hope everyone's doing well. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the beautifiers of the world. Isn't that a sweet name? And of course, when I use that name, I talk about our women folk, right? Now, so where shall I begin? I've been listening in on a lot of conversations that our women have had with one another and of course with a few other guys involved. And I've seen some efforts now. Shout out to my OB and to Hailstorm and Lil Frick, among many others, who are spreading art, spreading, just simple homestead stuff. Just showing, okay, I'm cooking a chicken today, or I'm sharing something about taking care of the little ones. That is good. And much love to all of you for doing that. That's really brilliant, and I'm happy to see so. And I was thinking to myself, what is it actually that traditionally you might say are typical female gender roles? And I came upon a list once that someone made, believe it or not. So I'm not taking credit for the existence of this list. I'm gonna give my own take on it. You wanna know what that list is? Well, let's find out. Quickly grabbing it. There we go. So, I think this list, why I want to bring it up, is because it may be helpful in giving our women direction. And it's not to say that to be a good woman you need to cover everything on this list. No, not at all. It's to give direction. It's a list of what you might say, the female gender roles that, how shall one say, one woman is going to excel exceptionally at just the one. Other women are going to be pretty good at several of these. But there's always going to be a few for each individual woman that the woman is not going to be interested in, isn't going to be good at, but still yet at the others. And I think you'll see why in a moment. So I'm gonna read them real quickly. Acting, healing and nurturing. What you might say crafting, but yeah, that's into that one you have to go rather specific, right? But crafting, I would say, based on precision, not so much on strength. Gathering food, foraging. Back when we lived in those more ancient lifestyles, let's say, that's what the women did. They collected the eggs from the chickens, they collected the berries from the bushes. And later on, of course, that turned into harvesting and what have you, although that's something the men did, of course, as well. Singing, social skills are also an important one, and having knowledge about the world. And there is one more: spreading culture. No. Okay, I'm gonna go into each one a little bit deeper, I suppose. And some women are probably going to find some of these attractive, at least one of them, I would think. And that's why I'm making this video. It may give you direction, it may give you something to look for in younger girls. Let's say a young girl. Let me begin at the beginning. If you have a good eye for it, and doesn't even need that much attention necessarily, just observation. Look at what a child likes to do. Give the child all kinds of toys and see which is the favorite toy. For example, as a dude, I can tell you, I've taken care of young children, and yeah, under my supervision, I really don't like that word. When I was looking out for them, yeah, that I prefer better. I would give them toys such as a plastic hammer, to make stuff with, so to say. Pretend that they're making something. Uh, those little cars to play with, dinosaurs, plastic dinosaurs, dolls, but the realistic ones. Um, what else? Well, if they're a bit older, Lego and what have you, but I want to keep it very basic for the really young. Yeah, and I guess puzzles. And what other is there? I mean, yeah, that's enough to list off. Now, why do I do that? Is because I want to see which is the toy that they're going to enjoy the most to play with. Are they going to play more with the cars? Are they going to play more with the dinosaurs? Are they going to play more with the plastic hammer? And if they keep if there is a trend there for each individual boy, you are actually going to start seeing that it seems that there is an interest here for history, or there is an interest for building things, maybe even fighting, or there is an interest for, there is a certain talent for having what's that called again in English when they're good at puzzling? Certain cognitive abilities that come out. And that leads one to give a direction to the child of, okay, so we know now of you that you are good at, that you love doing this specific thing. Let's explore there. Let's go with the plastic hammer. Okay, this is a young boy that likes to make things, or likes to use a hammer. What does he want to use the hammer for? Does he have some sort of inborn fighting spirit, let's say, and it's his weapon to defeat dragons? Or is it that he wants to put stuff together? Does that then land that he is going to be a woodsman in the sense of, is he going to, a carpenter, that's the one. Is he going to want to be a carpenter? Is he going to want to be a mason, whatever? Same with the girls here. So, going to quickly look again. Yeah, let's say healing, nurturing. If you give a young girl a baby doll, I mean, that's why these dolls are so popular, right? If you give them a baby doll, which girls are going to put the doll aside, and which girls are going to hold that doll to their chest and actually keep on doing that almost for a very big part of their youth, their childhood specifically? Which are the ones who like to dress up, as ghosts, or who like to decorate the house? Who are going to be the ones who are going to sit with mom a lot and try to listen in to what's being said by the elder women or by the adults in general? There's a lot to be gained from observing that in children, because it lends you to know what they're going to be good at in the future, right? And our ancestors knew this. For some reason, these in the last few generations, we've just said, oh, send them to school, they'll figure it out. We got work to do. Yeah, we got a job to do, better to say. There's always going to be work, but jobs really are, well, that's for another video. Do you see what I'm getting at, ladies? So, going by that list again. Yeah, so acting. If you want to see if if a young girl, or a younger girl, let's go with that, would have a talent for acting, is she going to like dressing up? Does she like dressing up the house for holidays or some such? Is she going to be very emotionally expressive? That's where you can see that acting is important for them, as I see it. What's the other one? Crafting. Well, yeah. Of course, yes, they're out there, girls that want to be plumbers and such and so, because they've inherited that from their men ancestors, which is fine. That's all good. As a general rule, However, knitting, that's one we all are aware of, right? Knitting, sewing, um, cooking, I guess is what you can call a craft, which are going to be the girls that, shall one put it, who will have a tendency to have their, you know those plastic kitchens, or those fake kitchens? You don't even need to get that. You can actually put them in an actual kitchen and see, do they want to help with that? Do they want to help mom cook dinner? Do they want to, or do they want to put clothing together? Do they want to design it? Etc. Etc. That's some very very basic advice on where to look at when it comes to crafts. Healing. Yeah, I kind of covered that already. Healing, nurturing, Are they going to hold a baby doll close to themselves even when they're only themselves 3 years old? Are they going to talk about pregnancies already? I am going to tell you ahead, for men that is very uncomfortable. I've been there. Wasn't even my own daughter, and suddenly she's like, oh, I'm pregnant. It's like, wow, should you already know this at this age? Apparently that's normal. Yeah. I got to learn too, yeah. And nurturing, yeah. That also, are they helpful? If some older child falls and cuts its knee or whatever, are they going to want to be helping? Do they go, oh, where did you hurt yourself? Quick, let me get you something. That kind of, those instincts. Yeah. That may lead them to want to be physicians of a sort. I mean, and you can go in so many directions with that. Herbalists, perhaps even, by extent of that, which goes back to crafts. So you can kind of already see, perhaps, how some of these can interlink with one another. What else? Foraging. I mean, I know plenty of women about my age. They love going to the forest and picking mushrooms, berries. I guess that's just go for a lot of walks into the woods with your children. That, and then and tell them about that. Oh, you can pick pine needles, and then you can make a tea with those, and stay away from the red mushrooms with the white the white pimples, because they are dangerous, and so forth and so on. And there are gonna be young girls who are gonna be more interested in that than others, although everyone really should have a basic understanding. Those young girls are going to appreciate it that you give them that so early on in life and make it common knowledge for them, so that they're going to want to experiment with that later on in life. Not job focused, but work focused and survival focused. Thriving focused, who knows. For those women who won't be able to drop the cream that they have to smear on their face, maybe then these young girls will be able to make something that doesn't ruin your skin in the long run, even though it's supposed to do the opposite, right? Singing, that kind of comes back to being emotionally very expressing. And just artistry, I suppose. Maybe artistry is better than to say acting and singing, because that all falls underneath that. But yeah, being expressive with one's voice. What can one say? I mean, overall, psychologically, so I think for most people, they prefer to hear a woman's voice over a man's voice. It's not because one is better than the other. We just like it that way. That's it. And to give young girls a head start in that way, who, sometimes that also can be expressed in shouting until your ears are ringing. But that's, like the whole screaming thing that some women do in alarm and what have you. Yeah. It's an important skill, even if we don't always like it as much, I suppose. again, it's something one can look at and play with, right? Social skills. That stereotype. Women love to talk. Uh, Women love to exchange information. That's my take on it. You ladies can totally agree or disagree with me if you, yeah. Just you don't get the pitchforks and ropes out. I'm trying, right? So, but yeah, exchanging information because back in the day, it's a survival skill. Oh, well, Celtic god is out fishing, and this is very simple information. You might think this isn't worth mentioning. There are going to be these women, these girls who are like, oh, he went fishing, and oh, did he take his line, and I wonder what kind of fish he'll catch, and and who is in his place, who is in his stead now watching the dogs or something like that. These kind of things, there is purpose behind that. You know what? I'm gonna actually make a little addition to that. Today, in today's society, that is encouraged, but in a very horrible fashion. Or you know what? No, that's actually going to be a separate video, I believe, where all of this that I now mention is being warped into something that it's not meant to be warped in. Yeah, let's do it that way. Otherwise, this video is going to be an hour long. I don't want you to take up that much of your time. Not in one go, at least. So yeah, social skills, talking, exchanging information, garnering information. Women love their secrets, they just do. I guess for all kinds of reasons again. And last is, knowledge about the world, the lore of the world around you, understanding the world around you. How shall one put it? From a female perspective, again, this is about survival, right? Who are your neighbors? Can you trust your neighbors? What can one add in addition to that? Where may one go if one wants to have a good time? Where may one want to go? And I'm speaking outside of the safe zone. The safe zone being, to put it in ancient terms, a tribal territory, if that makes sense. So outside of the village where you are every day, outside of the farm you're every day. And especially who are the people that come into the village that aren't commonly known? Who are the strangers in the streets? Where do they come from? What have they been up to? What families do they come from? What are these families known for? And if they cannot tell, why not? Knowledge about the world. That's something that our women don't do that much anymore, is it now? So if you see young girls show such curiosities, may want to jump in on that. And all of this, what does that have to do with the title? Well, overall, the attribute of beauty and charisma, we usually tend to give that to our women, especially beauty, and as it should be, in my opinion. Because all of this, at the end of the day, is to beautify the world. Why beautify the world? Because that gives us hope. It gives us a place it gives us a place of belonging. It makes us want to be alive. It makes us want to do the right things. I might say, well, a lot of men have created art far more than women, etc., etc. Perhaps. That's part of the men's role. But I'll go on about that in another video. However, the women are the keepers of all of that. The women are the keepers of tradition. Which tradition? That's for the women to decide. But there is only one set of traditions that truly belongs to, that certain people we all do it for, right? Because there will be those who keep traditions, but it's not what you might say, the traditions of native Europeans, and they are very zealous in maintaining that. It's just so unfortunate then, right, that it's not for the traditions of their own grandmothers and generations before, and of course their grandfathers, in service to those that will come after them. So yeah, beautifiers of the world. All right, this was what I wanted to share to you all. I'm very happy that there are now some good women folk that are doing their part, and hopefully we're gonna have many more who are going to do their part, taking the good example of those already into it. One final thing maybe? Oh man, it's already 21 minutes. How is this possible? Time flies when you're having a good time, I guess. The... Let the... I'm struggling to find the words for what I want to add in conclusion. So yeah, just hold on guys, we're gonna make 30 minutes yet like this. For the women who are now involved, this is just me giving you something in addition to. Maybe you already knew this. Maybe you're like, okay, yeah, that wasn't necessary. Who knows? Maybe for some people it yet will be useful. People who want to be parents, etc., etc. I'm just adding this too because it may help give direction. The list is not mine. I don't think I can say who it came from. But if you listen closely enough, you may yet find out. And yeah, it's to give direction, and it's to point out that if you're a young woman yourself and you happen to watch this video, and you may think, oh, you're just a dude, what do you know, right? You're correct. I will never know as much as a woman on this topic. Would be kind of weird, wouldn't it? But maybe this will give you just enough direction. It will give you a place to start from. Explore for yourself what you liked as a child, or look for it into younger girls, what they like when they're still children or just younger. In any of these, it's bound that there is at least one of them going to be in there on a very basic level. The challenge is to then find out what is more specifically what this person is going to be good at. For example, when it comes to art, is she going to be a singer? Is she going to be Is she going to be a painter? Is she going to be a dancer? What kind of dancer? What kind of materials is she going to use for painting? That's part of the beauty of life, to find these things out. And that's part of the challenge for the older generations, to make sure that you get them as close as possible to what they really want and are kind of born to do. Yeah, that's my bit on it. You all have a good one, and bye-bye.